Hi everybody, this is Lee, and with this video I'm talking about the Sabal Trail Pipeline. I've discussed the Dakota Access Pipeline many times on this channel, and the fact that while it appears that fight on location has ended, that it has moved into the court system and also into the divestment movement, and then also to other pipelines such as the Diamond Pipeline that's going from Oklahoma through Arkansas over the Mississippi River into Memphis, and the Trans-Pecos Pipeline that's running down across the Rio Grande River into Mexico. And so now with this video, I'm talking about the Sabal Trail Pipeline. Oh, and then I knew there was one I was forgetting. There's so many. I also spoke about the Rover Pipeline that's also being constructed in West Virginia, and the fact that the Hare Krishnas have sued Energy Transfer Partners because they are violating the agreement that they had. And so with this, I'm talking about the Sabal Trail Pipeline. The fact that there is a growing movement against this pipeline, and that it's a natural gas pipeline, which means fracking, which is also a concern. And activists are saying that it's extremely threatening, that it endangers water sources and water quality and soil quality. Florida, Georgia, and Alabama are going to be affected. And so the bulk of the 515-mile pipeline will run through Florida. It'll span 260 plus miles in that state alone, in areas that have a high number of minority residents. And so the pipeline crosses Reedy Creek near Disney World. It runs along Lake Kissimmee. And 2015 census data shows that over 60% of the Kissimmee residents are Black or Hispanic and have a household median income of $37,000, which is below the national average. And so nearly 1,000 acres and wetlands will also be affected by the project. And so the project is not complete, but it has already started to have an effect or an impact. In fact, that last month, the installations of the Sabal Trail Pipeline in Kissimmee, Florida, in Osceola County, caused sinkholes to open above the pipeline, and that caused damage to cars and nearby property. And this is all before any gas has started to be transported through it. Sinkholes. And so that's the construction quality that you see, apparently, with these pipelines. And so people recognize that it's necessary to use the pipelines to transport oil and gas. They are harmful to the environment and to the residents surrounding them. And this is because the statistics bear this out. The Washington Journal review found that there were 1,400 pipeline spills and accidents in the United States between 2010 and 2013, the span of 3 years. And so that 4 in every 5 pipeline accidents are discovered not by the companies and their employees who own the pipelines, but by local residents. And so that's the effect, the direct effect. And so this Sabal Trail Pipeline is a project by Florida Power and Light. They are the parent company of Next Extra, Duke, and Spectra Energy. And so there is resistance by community leaders and activists. And that there's the president-elect of the Central Florida Progressive Caucus, who presented a resolution that would call for elected officials and residents to take part in stopping the pipeline. And that was passed by the Orange County and Osceola County Democratic Executive Committees in Central Florida. Construction has already started on the pipeline, and then some parts of the pipeline are already completed. And they expect to be operational by May of this year. But if that pipeline is not completed on time, the company may lose a $200 million bond, and that would put its financial investment at stake by not meeting the demands of the project in a timely manner. And so activists are using that as a window to stop the pipeline. They are also trying to ban fracking. And so, the pipelines next to schools and communities, the fact that fracking is involved is a concern because the land in Florida is already porous, hence the sinkholes already. And fracking is not going to make that better, it's going to make it worse. And so, not only that there might be earthquakes or frackquakes that result in sort of great instability under the residents because of this destructive extraction practice. And so it was State Senator Dana Young, who is a Republican in Tampa. She filed a bill with bipartisan support to ban all fracking in Florida. And so that's going to be considered during the legislative session that starts this week. And if that passes, it will have an effect on the construction of the Sabal Trail pipeline. And so that's something to watch and to keep track of. That people are fighting back, that Standing Rock, Sioux Nation, had a tremendous effect on the rest of the nation. Whereas maybe people might have laid down or laid back and allowed it to be inevitable. People are fighting back in various ways, through local actions, through courtroom actions, through legislative actions, and then, of course, through lobbying efforts in Washington, and that there is going to be an Indigenous gathering. And so on March 10th. And so the fight is continuing in different ways, and that it's definitely not over. Again, it's not easy, but it's going forward, and we'll see where it ends up. Good luck.